Well, good afternoon, everybody. Hello, and I'll take Ian off the screen there. Hello, how you doing? Folks, what a morning. Uh, I won't go into it all, but it's been hell. It's been absolute hell, and I've had computer problems, speaker problems, microphone problems. The only problem I haven't had this morning actually is Ian, who for once in his life was bang on time. So yes, there we go. How is everybody? How you doing? I hope you're well. I still can't get the podcast to work on Facebook either. That's another problem that I have been having. So how are we doing on this Friday? Did you all watch the Masters last night? Gutted. Perhaps. Do you know? Do you know? It got to the point where I was actually starting to take it far too serious, like ridiculously far too serious. I was also told that Jermaine Defoe was going to be an appearance, and he wasn't. So I was gutted by that as well. I was absolutely gutted by that. What did Novo last about 4 minutes or something like that? Then he went off injured. Still managed to take a penalty, right enough. Graham Dorrance missing the the final penalty. Aberdeen won the Masters, but we've finished top of the group. And yeah, why am I talking about the Masters? Um, although, although there was some dodgy refereeing decisions going on. So it was a bit like Scottish football. It was a bit like the professional game. But Bruno Alves, as Lyndon's not a fan, but Bruno Alves was was in and about it, man. So he was. He was a monster last night. So anyway, how are you, everybody? Apologies for being late. What have you got planned for your Friday night? Obviously, at 7:30, it's to watch the Rangers Rabble, of course. But before that and after that, what is your plans for your Friday night? I've got a guest traveling down on Saturday night, going out to have a few drinks, and then traveling to the women's game on Sunday with him. So Brian's coming down on Saturday night. I'll need to buy him, no doubt, a pack of Guinness. Um, I would have invited Ian, but he was far too far. He was far too So yeah, well, good. I'm glad that Aaron's going to behave so that he's fresh for the random. That's good. Well done, Aaron. Aaron, if you're not a member, you wouldn't have seen Aaron yet. He done the random rabble last Saturday as well, I believe. So hopefully we'll get him on a main show soon. Scotland are playing tonight as well. Yes, Croatia, I believe, at Hampden. So I don't know what time that's on at. If anybody wants to update me on what time that's on it. But if it's on at 8 o'clock, then you'll miss the first half hour because you'll be listening to the Rangers rabble. So yeah, so it is time for everybody's favourite part of the day. And I said it yesterday, and I will say it today. I don't care what Wolf says. This is legendary.
Question of the day.
Yes, and of course the the big fight tonight as well. Mike Tyson against Jake Paul. I say big fight. It's got one proper boxer in it who's now nearly 60, fighting against a young boy who's not a boxer. So, and I think that's going to be on at like 4:30 in the morning. What's going on with my hair and all, by the way? I think that's going to be on at like 4 in the morning or something. Fair play to you if you're up for that, watching that. I know that if it was Connor and it was a SmackDown, he'd be up watching that and then sleeping in for his Saturday shift on the Rabble. But my question of the day, I'm going to make this a Rangers question because I haven't really done many Rangers questions of the day. So my question to everybody watching, and this will judge where we are age-wise, who's the greatest winger you have ever seen play for Rangers? You have to have seen them, oh, be it on the TV or live at Ibrox, but it has to be when you've been alive and you've watched them live, either on the TV or you've been at Ibrox. So, in your opinion, um, who's the greatest winger that you've ever seen play for Rangers? And I would imagine that the thumbnail would have been a wee bit of a giveaway. Not for who you should pick, but just for what the question of the day was going to be. Like I say, this will differ. I feel sorry for younger people because I think young people have maybe got like Oh, Daniel Kidneys or someone like that. I'm trying to think. Uh, it's not a loaded question, Gary. It is not a loaded question. There is some great wingers that have played for this football club. Um, Loads of people coming in with Cooper, though. I must admit, Smudge's Cooper, Allen's Cooper, Gone Rogue's Cooper, Fergie's Brian Loudrop. This is the two names I expected to see, folks. But if you've got one that isn't Cooper or Loudrop, get it in there. Like I say, London's going Loudrop if he counts as a winger. If not, then Wynn does. Loudrop definitely counts. Loudrop 100% counts as a winger. London, don't you worry about it. Cammy's giving it Cooper. There we go. James Fowler's giving it wee Willie Henderson. Phenomenal player. I couldn't say him back because I have never seen him live. So keep getting your. I'll put it up on the screen in a minute once I bring Ian in. But get it up in the comments. Who's the greatest winger that you have ever seen play for Rangers? Not who you think everybody wants to hear. The answer everybody wants to hear. Who's the greatest winger that you have ever seen play for Rangers?
Question of the day.
Ian, how are you?
I am all right. It's Friday. We've made it to, well, I say it's Friday and we've made it to the end of the week. I've still got to work tomorrow, but that's one of those things.
Do you know that way when it's international break, Ian, and when you do these afternoon shows, and it gets to like the Wednesday, and then you've got the members show on the Wednesday night, and then you go into the Thursday and you go, I don't know what I'm going to talk about.
I didn't know what I was going to talk about on Wednesday for the members show. So, and then we went and just depressed everybody even more by reviewing between the two international breaks.
Yeah.
But I definitely do it. This Friday being an international, what's week, isn't it? It's not really, or fortnight or whatever.
Fortnight, yeah.
It just feels meh. It's the best way to describe it.
Do you know what? There's actually some really good answers coming in for the question of the day that aren't just Cooper and Loudrop. There's some good ones coming in. Who's the greatest winger, Ian, that you've ever seen play for Rangers?
I come in just as Cooper was leaving. If I did see him play, I don't remember seeing Cooper play live. I remember going to a game in 86, 87, but I don't remember who played. I think Cooper might have played. Couldn't tell you. For me, it's Loudrop. It's Brian Loudrop. I saw him week in, week out at points as well, which was fantastic. But I would like throw in, Neil McCann's a good shape that I'm seeing. Peter Houstra, I'll chuck him in as well. Maybe not the greatest, but one of the better ones we had. For me, Brian Loudrop, all day long.
I suppose for people of our generation, Brian Loudrop's probably going to be the top answer, especially for a winger. For a winger, if the question was who was your favourite player, who do you think was the best player for Rangers during the whole 9 in a row era?
Oof, that's a bigger question.
That's a bigger question. Absolutely, that's a bigger question. But I love this answer from D-Man. Now, I was just too young to catch this guy play, but all the videos that I've seen back, Ian, Mark Walters,
phenomenal player.
Like,
again, not just
trying to explain to a younger generation who maybe haven't seen him, Ian, who think that Ryan Kent's world class or is a really good player, and then you hit them with Mark Walters.
Mark Walters was massively underrated as a player. Again, I was still just probably a little bit too young to appreciate Mark Walters at the time. I think I was just coming into really getting into football at that point. But he was someone who stuck out, definitely.
100%. 100%. And like I say, just unfortunate that I never really got to see him play. I suppose this is really a show I should have had Wilf on, because he's had the benefit of seeing 100 years of Rangers players.
125 years, he was the first one to get a seat in the stand, wasn't he? So.
Gary, I don't even think that's a joke, man. I don't know what that is that you've put in the comments there, but I absolutely cannot bring that up. I haven't mentioned it yet, but I'm going to mention it now. 100 people watching on YouTube, 29 likes. Come on, folks. Get that at least up to 50. Doreen, I'm looking at you because you always forget. So make sure you've got that like in. Get it to 150. 150? Get it to 50. And then we can try and get it to 100. Do you think, actually, Neil McCann was kind of an underrated player for us? And the reason I ask that, everybody shouts about how good Neil McCann was, and he was phenomenal. But Jinky was actually better than what folk realised.
I think when he came to us, he was still quite raw coming away from Hearts. But the time he spent with us, he just got better and better. Year in, year out, he got better and better and better. And just when you thought he was at his peak, he went again. And he will, for in my lifetime, served up one of the best assists ever in a Scottish Cup final in 2002. I'll remember that for the day I die, getting that ball in for Loving Crab in the last minute. It took me about 3 weeks to come down from that. So
It's not just that. The goal he scored as well, was it the 3-0 one at Parkhead?
two of them. Oh, yeah.
It was 2 goals he scored, wasn't it?
First one and the last one.
Yeah, just an absolutely phenomenal player. It's time to do the Who Am I, folks? And yeah, I'm not too sure about this one. Do you know what? Before we get to that, I've got people screaming at me in the comments, Ian, right? Lovenkrantz. Was Lovenkrantz technically a winger?
I think he came in as a winger, and we kind of converted into a striker in the end, didn't we? Because he seemed to be up front quite a lot. Again, that 2002 cup final definitely was the forward on that day. I don't think he cut up any trees when he did play as a winger. It's a good shout, but I don't think he matches with Walters, with Cooper, with Loudrup and McCann. I don't think he's there.
Nah, I'd probably have to tend to agree with you. I did message one of the refs last night for the Masters and said that United Celtic game, that was shocking refereeing. But yeah. Right, okay, so the Who Am I today, folks? I don't know about this one, right? But I joined Rangers in 2019. I made 218 appearances for the club and scored 33 goals. So I joined Rangers in 2019. I made 218 appearances and I scored 33 goals. Who am I? Is that a tough one, Ian?
I'm just trying to think of 2019. I was very much sleep deprived. I was working night shifts on the ambulance service and baby on the way. Yeah. It'll come to me, but...
Do you want me to read it out one more time?
Yeah, go on. Go for
Right,
it.
so I joined Rangers in 2019. I played 218 times and scored 33 goals. Who am I?
I've got an idea.
It's actually quite a tricky one. I thought, because this was quite a recent person, that it would be slightly easier. But there's some good guesses in there, to be fair. Some good guesses already coming in for folks. But that is your Who Am I? Please do keep getting your guesses in. I will give you another clue in about 5 minutes. Let's see if anybody can get it from the second clue. You should get it for the second clue, folks. If you don't, I'll be slightly disappointed. But Ian, because I completely forgot to say to people, we can only talk about what you want us to talk about, because there's not a lot going on. I forgot to ask the people in the comments that question. So while I'm pandering here, maybe folk want to get in what they want to talk about. But what's on your mind now, Ian, in terms of Rangers, or are you zoned out for this international break?
I think it does us all good if we just zone out for a little bit. But I mean, I think it's still the obvious is behind the scenes. It's not even so much on the park anymore. It's behind the scenes again. What's going on? When are we going to get the people we need in? We need them in. We need them in fast, because the season's going down the toilet. And I think it'll start to get better once we have people in place who can take some pressure off the pitch facing people. So where is this CEO? Why the hell are we paying a company hundreds of thousands of pounds, supposedly looking to headhunt people, and we have nothing? So where are the people that we're expected to do these jobs? Why haven't we got them in yet? That's the only thing that's in my mind, really. I'm zoned out on the playing side, because if I think about the playing side too much, it'll just depress me.
I mean, this is probably the perfect opportunity, I suppose, for the board to do something and give the fans hope. I suppose, Ian, in a way that you've got this 2 weeks off or whatever. Make some appointments. Give the fans something to go, right, okay, the board are moving, the board are doing something, and back your team.
Definitely. We're all, I know previous to this, and I don't think it's going to happen because we have given the man an extra year's contract. A lot of people say now's the time you get rid of the manager, bring somebody new in. Da, 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 da. You're right, though. This is where we've got a 2-week period. It's all going to be a little bit quiet on the Western Front, as they say, and it'll be. Look, I've actually got a quote right, and and now would be the time to do something to get somebody in and come back to good news, as opposed to, and that could lift everything.
Yeah, absolutely could. Right. Okay. So Cammy wants us to discuss the Union Bears TIFO ban. Now, I haven't read the statement from the Union Bears, Ian, so I'm not technically 100% sure what's going on with that. Can you enlighten me?
I think there's now a little bit of a war between the Union Bears and the board due to constant fines, and I think Gilligan's taken up the task a little bit, and they're not happy about being told that they can't do that, because I think it all stems from the remembrance tifo that they put out and not being allowed to do whatever it is they wanted to do at the time they wanted to do it, having to do it away from Ibrox as opposed to within it, and there just seems to be a war of words now between the two. I mean, the Union Bears, as they give us some good things, but they give us a lot of bad things as well. And I think at the moment it feels like a bit like they're spitting the dummy out. I think Gilligan's trying to protect the club a little bit because we can't keep having UEFA coming at us, because eventually they'll close stands. And if they close stands, that's revenue lost. And we are not in a position to be losing revenue because we'd have to give back money for the tickets that have been sold and season, because it's CCCS stuff. I just think it's a bit of a war of words. And I don't think that the Union Bears like being told what to do at times, and no offense to any of them if they're watching.
Yeah, I mean, our market tends to be people between 46 and, is it 46 and 51 or something. So I don't think any Union Bears will be watching. But again, they might. But Neil's saying it's the board again. They don't like being called out, and they're hiding behind the fact that we're getting fines. Is there a bit of common ground that could be met here? Or is it the Union Bears don't listen, or is it the board are just hiding behind fines to do what they want?
But if we're losing money due to fan behaviour, that only leads one way, and that ends up, and you've seen it, it's happened before, that you get clubs that will end up with stadium closures, not just stands, stadium closures. It's happened before, it'll happen again. We can't allow that to happen. However, we all know that the governing body of European football does like to throw fines at lesser clubs, shall we say, because you don't see these bigger clubs, you don't see the big Italian teams, Spanish teams, English teams, if they've got players and whatnot, you don't see it in the news that they've been fined or whatever. They pick and choose their moments, but we can have all the razzmatazz that the Union Bears bring with the tifo, the celebrations that they do, but maybe we just lose the fireworks. I mean, to set off fireworks within an enclosed, mostly enclosed ground is ridiculous, because what if one of them goes off the wrong way and hit someone, and they end up in hospital, maimed, badly injured. Worst case scenario, as I like to say on my first aid courses when I teach them, they die. What happens then? I mean, the Union Bear is going to go, well, it's not our fault, you let us bring the fireworks in, and then put it back on the board again. So there's got to be a bit in the middle where they can come together and discuss what they're doing, but I just don't know whether either side would want to sit down in a room and try and talk it out.
Yeah. I've had another winger brought in that I need to bring up. This was somebody that I seen. Kanchelskis.
I think we got him.
Do you know a lot of people? I don't think, and I could be completely wrong here, because I didn't know about this until like a couple of years after Kanchelskis left. But he was at Manchester United. He was a serious player.
He was, and again, for Manchester United in that time, kind of overlooked because of the players that they had. I mean, he was in the teams with Cantona and with towards the end, he was in there with Beckhams and the gigs and all that sort of stuff. So he was massively overlooked in Chelsea. And I love the fact that he played for us. I was really excited when I knew he'd signed for us. So again, a very, very good winger, and I'll always have memories of him popping a goal in against Celtic and breaking through them because he was fast.
Standing on the ball. Standing on the
ball. Bit of a salute, yes. The original salute before Scott Arfield. Yeah.
Michael Charon, Willie Johnson, my all-time hero. And I wasn't alive in the time he played for Rangers. Iain.
My dad could tell me about him, I think, and my granddad, my uncles, they could all tell me about him.
I don't know if this is a joke or not. I'm not sure it is. But Gone Rogue has changed his answer. He thinks that one of the greatest wingers of all time that he's seen play for Rangers is Brandon Barker. That's not the answer, by the way, to his Who Am I don't think.
I think he had a hell of a comb over, did Brandon Barker. I think I remember that. And then a bit of a hair transplant to sort all that out. I think that was what a winger he could have been if only he was any good.
If only he was any good. Well, he must have had something. You don't get to Man City and play for Rangers if you've got nothing. But, I mean, Brandon Barker or Scott Wright, who are you going for?
Controversial. Do you know what? Right now, I actually miss Scott Wright, so I'm taking Scott Wright.
Right, I'm going to help people out now with the Who Am I and basically give the answer away, right? Because you are all failing miserably. So I will read out the first clue again. I joined Rangers in 2019. I played 218 times for the club and scored 33 goals. So here's the clue. Here's the second clue. It's the only other clue I'm giving you, because if you don't get it, then shame on you, right? I made 56, so 5-6 assists, which is not easy for me to say because I've got a slight speech impediment. But I made 56 assists for the club. And I also had 5 loans in my career, one of which was at Rangers. Now, Iain, if that doesn't give it away, I don't know what does.
Yeah, that should give it away nice and easy. I got it before that clue, but that one doesn't do it. Then, because I'll tell you how I come to that. This is what my answer. When we do that bit in a bit, I won't give it away now.
I don't do an Alan and just give it away completely. But I mean, if you don't get it for that, then there's something that we need to have a personal discussion. So I'll say the answer in a couple of minutes. Iain, we have some players away on international duty. The one that I'm most excited to see, but at the same time don't think I will see, is Conor Barron with Scotland. He has been obviously picked now, not a emergency call-up. He's been picked outright to go with Scotland. And albeit if he doesn't get any minutes and he comes back fit with no injuries, I'm delighted. But I really, really want him to get some game time.
Well, you'll see him when the camera pans around to the subs bench to see who's there. You'll see him then. But I think that's the only time you will see him. I don't see him. I don't envisage him getting any minutes whatsoever. If they could keep Suter sat next to him at the same time, I wouldn't be that bothered. I'm all happy for them to go away because it is, for any player, it's the pinnacle of playing football, to play for your country. That's what they all want to do. So I've got nothing against them being in there. If they play, brilliant, and it'll be great to see them. But if they don't, you kind of, from a club's selfish point of view, you are extremely happy because, 9 times out of 10, unless your name's Ryan Jack, you'll come back fully fit and ready to go.
I'm with you on the Suter thing, but just purely because of the injuries that Suter's had in the past is the one reason why. I mean, if it was a tournament, if it was like a Euros or a World Cup and Scotland got there, I'd be buzzing for John Suter to play. And Gary's right. Every cap adds value. Caps do add value to players. But just in a Nations League with John Suter's injury history, if he sat it out, it wouldn't frustrate me. But I actually feel that Conor Barron's got something to offer that Scotland midfield.
He does have something to offer it. But who, right now, because technically speaking, this is an official game. It's not a friendly. It's a Nations League game. So Clark's going to go at it. We are in the it feels very strange to say this for Tottenham. We are for Scotland. Tottenham, who? That we are in the top league in the Nations League. So Clark's going to want to stay there. So you're going to drop McTominay, Gilmore, McGinn to bring Conor Barron in for this game? I don't think so. If we've got it 1-1 comfortably, but it's Croatia, so that's not likely to happen either. He might get minutes. I think he's there just to fill a seat now that McGregor's retired, and we need to bring
fill a steak. Did you see there?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
I'll just say, by the way, to Sharpie, that's how I catch folk out, Sharpie. People go to Wikipedia, and Wikipedia only shows you league goals. So you've got to do your research and get your stats right, Sharpie. Because the Who Am I is, Iain?
It is one Ryan Kent.
Ryan Kent, yes. He did play 218 times for the club. He did score 33 goals. He was on loan 5 times in his career, and one of the 8 times was, of course, at us in 2018 before he moved permanently in 2019. I thought that was a pretty easy one, but none of you, in fact, 2 people, I think, got it in with the first clue. I'm disappointed in the rest. I thought that, especially Wolf, and Jordy, and Cammy, and the Sniper, and Gary. I thought that you would have all got it after the first clue. Really, really disappointed. Really disappointed.
I think it is that initially your mind goes to Scott Arfield because you don't technically take Ryan Kent as joining the club in 2019 because it was that loan. That's what threw me initially.
But see, you've got to use your head with these Who Am I's.
You got to look at the goals scored and all the rest of it, and once it clicks, you're like, oh, of course it is. And then
but see that I can retire now. Look, damn, you got me. I got him. That's me. My work is done. I did. Did you? This is one for Iain. Did you see the Undertaker promoting the new Genoa top?
I did see him doing that, and I've now got to hide my bank statements from the wife. So
I love this. Overestimate me at your own disappointment. I love that. I absolutely love that. We don't. Well, do we have? Yes, we do. We do have time for this. Ian Jordy's asking, what would your thoughts be on putting an international recall clause into a player's contract? Extremely difficult, Ian. Mm-hmm. I think it would probably cause more harm than good, to be honest, because who makes that decision then? Is that a player that makes a decision? Is it the club that's got the right to make a decision? Where the international teams stand, I think you're entering dangerous territory with that.
You would have to change a few of the rules as well, because I believe if players pull out late on, particularly, that the club can face fines or sanctions if they appear at that weekend as well. So there's some rules that would have to change for that to happen. I think it would be incredibly difficult to do to send the player on the international duty because the player's going to want to have to come back. And if you bring a player back for international duty just because you think, right, I need players to be fit, and he doesn't want to come, you've got an unhappy player, and you don't need that. So I think I like the idea, but I just don't think it's, well, that was Norfolk. I've got to leave this bloody place. I'm sounding Norfolk. I like the idea of it, but I can't see how it would work.
And by the way, final point, and I promise everybody I'll keep this quick so you can get back to your Friday afternoons. AJ with a great point. We've had 4 months of the season, and 50% of it has been international breaks. It's too much.
Far too much. And they're all saying that players shouldn't be playing so many games. Let's scrap the Nations League. There's at least 2 of the international breaks gone. You'd have 1, possibly 2, but you could have that 2, 1 in September, 1 later on, sort of around about now. So you've got a decent amount of the season to go. But yeah, it's just a way of international football making more money. TV companies come in, they make more money, and international football loses its appeal because there's far too much of it. Yeah,
100% it does. Folks, 58 likes, 150 watching. Can we get that to 100? Can we get that up to 100, do you think? I don't want to come out all school teacher on you all, but I will. I absolutely will. So
just don't confiscate their phones to the end of the day because they need them to make the likes.
Yes.
I'd just like to say that it's a very, 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 very nice hoodie you're wearing.
Why, thank you. Yes, it's not available for sale, so I don't know why I'm promoting it, but it's the only one made. And what I might do when I'm too fat for it, which will be in about 4 or 5 days, is I might
Christmas
use
is
it as
coming.
might use it as a giveaway. So if I get too fat for it, it will be used as a giveaway. Washed first, of course, folks. Non-bio, 30 degrees. I think that's a thing. I just made that up, Ian, because I seen a washing advert the other day.
It has to be non-bio. I'll go out in a rash otherwise.
Was it 15 degrees or 30 degrees? I can't remember. But it was something like that anyway. It was absolutely something like that. Right, folks, that will do us for your afternoon rabble for a Friday. That's us until Monday for the afternoon rabbles. We're back tonight at 7:30. God knows what we're going to talk about tonight. But I promise I will try and make it as interesting as I possibly can. We're going to rely on you guys in the comments giving us stuff to talk about, because it is, after all, an international break. I will be live at 6 p.m. for CEO and sponsorship tier members. We're going to be doing a Q&A. I haven't done one in a wee while. So for CEO, who's going on a cruise? For
TNA.
CEO and sponsorship members, I will be live at 6 p.m. We can have a wee coffee and a wee chat. And yeah, let's do it. Thank you so much to everybody who's tuned in. Please make sure before you leave on YouTube that you hit the like button. You make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're following us on all socials. The links are in the description. A massive thank you to the two sponsors that we have for the show. I'll bring up the graphic right now for you. MRG Electrical. So thank you very much today, guys. Go and check them out. And like I said, a massive thank you to everybody who tunes in. And if you want to help the show even further, a CNO, a CEO, and a PEO all be there. Yes, they will. They will absolutely all be there. And if you want to become a member and help support the channel, then you can do so by clicking the join button below, or get into the description and you can join via link on either YouTube or Patreon. Both offer exactly the same thing, just a different delivery method. So thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ian. And we'll see you all tonight at 7:30.